a new client today, and anytime I have a new client, this is how I start. We're going to basically do a cleansing milk and a deep pore cleanser, and then I'm going to actually assess her skin and see what is actually going on underneath the lights to see what her pore size looks like, any fine lines, as well as target any of the skin issues that she's actually already discussed with me. So just the cleansing milk first. So we use a cleansing milk since cleansing milk is more for every single skin type. It will help with like a sensitive skin as well as the oily and acneic, and it's just more for, since I don't know her skin type, this is the most sensitive and gentle type of cleansing that you can do. So we don't want any sort of reaction happening on the skin. Just removes all of the makeup that she could be wearing. She's not, but anyone might be wearing makeup, so it's just to remove. I personally use gauze when I'm doing treatments, since it helps to obviously pick up all of the water and cleansing milk and everything on the skin, but also you don't have any sort of cross-contamination. So any sort of sponges, unless they're brand new, then you definitely do not want someone using a sponge on your face, because there's no way you can sanitize those from person to person. So gauze is definitely the way to go, because after I'm done cleansing, I throw it in the garbage and get a new one out. So there's no way of any sort of cross-contamination. So I use like more of a warm temperature water. So I usually boil a kettle of water, and I have cold water as well. So I mix both to create a more ideal temperature. So it's soothing for the client, as well as it's always beneficial to have cool water when we're removing any eye makeup, and just sometimes with any sort of inflammation or sensitive skin, you want to have cold water present too. And we dry the skin after we've cleansed so that all of the excessive water is removed. So before I even pull out the light to look under the skin, I already see the skin without the light, but we want to just really do a deep cleaning to be able to properly assess the skin. So we're doing the deep pore cleanser next. I use a spatula to take out the products so that my hands are not going in and out, causing any sort of bacteria or grime inside of each of the actual containers. So the deep pore cleanser is helping to pull out all of like the fresh blackheads and just excessive oil and dirt and extra makeup that could be on the skin. Again, just drying the face in between each. So now is when we're actually going to assess the skin and see what steps we're going to do next to determine what treatment we're going to do. So we're just basically looking for the overall texture of the skin, any dehydration, fine lines, wrinkles, the pore size, blackheads, the congestion in the skin, to know what steps we're going to do, the elasticity, everything, so we can then have a plan of attack. Okay, so I've determined her skin type, and now I'm just going to use the appropriate gommage, the exfoliation, for her skin type.
What is my skin type?
Got lots of different skins happening. We got dehydration. Mm-hmm. You have some fine lines, loss of elasticity, some pigmentation, a little bit of vascularities, which is like the broken capillaries, and then you've got just some like congestion. So I don't know when the last facial was, but got some built up blackheads and grime in the skin. I know with a lot of you that come in, you're questioning certain treatments and have your heart maybe set on a specific treatment that you think may be beneficial for you. But after I've actually assessed your skin and looked under the lights and just spoken with you to figure out what your goals are, sometimes those aren't the actual best treatments for you. So it's beneficial if you are thinking about getting a treatment done to even just book like a consultation where we can actually discuss your goals, but also just look at your skin and see what may be the best next steps. So now we're just removing the gommage.
I want it all.
Now, I know with her skin, I'm actually not going to be using the steam. And the reason is because her skin is already dehydrated. So if I was going to put steam on her skin, she's going to become even more dehydrated. So knowing the skin type and knowing what's beneficial, as much as some people really love the steam, like she probably loves the steam, but I'm not going to do something that even though she might love, that's not going to be beneficial for her skin. Typically, after we've done an assessment and put a game plan together, we would discuss, like treatment plan, treatment options, and then depending on the skin type as well as the goals, it would vary in terms of length of treatment itself. So whether we're looking at an hour treatment, an hour and a half, or half an hour treatment, as well as how many treatments we'll actually need to complete the series, and as well as spacing. So whether we need a 4 to 6 weeks apart, whether we need it every other week. So it is definitely dependent on each person's actual skin and the results that they're looking for. So it's quite generic saying it, in a video, but it can be specific to your actual goals and expectations. So after we've done exfoliation and either a mild peel or a steam on the skin, we're going to do extractions, which is everyone's favorite part. So we're actually going to pull out any of the blackheads, whiteheads, milia, whatever we see in the skin.
There's a blackhead right beside it, but it's keratosis.
So with extractions, to do them yourself is a completely different angle. I myself don't even do my own extractions. I have a couple of my girlfriends that are also estheticians, and we do exchanges on each other because you cannot see your skin at the same level of expertise, and just with all the lights around and magnifying the actual pores, as well as trying to actually even use tools to extract your skin. A lot of times people come in, what was a small little blackhead, they've created a huge scar because they've tried to manually extract it using whatever tools they found. I've even heard of tweezers. So please don't extract your own face. It's completely different to do it yourself versus actually getting a professional to do it. And just the preparation of getting your skin ready. That's why a lot of the extractions are easy for me to remove, because I've prepped the skin so the pores are open and ready to release all of the blackheads, whiteheads, whatever the junk is inside. And most of the time when people do their own extractions at home, you haven't prepped your skin at all. So that's why you start to create scars and create a long process of healing time. Now I'm just cleaning the area of any of the sebum and just like the oil that we've extracted, and making sure that there's nothing that her body can reabsorb. And then we're gonna use the high frequency next, and that actually really eliminates the bacteria from the extractions, from the pus from the pimples, as well as any inflammation in the skin. It helps with the redness to subside too. So this is how we finish the extraction pimple popping process. Is we basically clean the skin with the toner, and then we're going to be closing the pore size, closing the pores, and just helping with the inflammation, as well as the bacteria on the skin with the high frequency. And then any of the milia or white heads that we've extracted, we're basically just going to tap on those individual areas just to ensure that there's no bacteria underneath the skin. And the only reason why I use like a gauze or a Kleenex is just so it slides a little bit easier on the skin. But this is glass, so there's no cross-contamination that can happen. This, like when you're tapping the skin, you do feel a little bit of a shock, but the sound is more scary and than the actual system itself, and it just pulls across the sound, the smell of ozone. So that's all you really smell is like an ozone smell, and then just an occasional shock. So after extractions, we would basically figure out what skin-specific treatment we're going to be doing, whether we're going to be doing any sort of oxygen therapy, opera mask, lightening facial, anti-aging in terms of using specific serums and creams and lifting techniques for the rest of the facial treatment. Now, if she was coming in for IPLs or facial rejuvenation, or any sort of scar renewal, microneedling, fractional lasers, anything like that, we wouldn't do any extractions. So we would basically just simply clean the skin, and then we would use the laser system to treat whatever appropriate skin issue she has or skin concern that she has.